As the 0-2 is grounded up the middle, picked up by Guillorme, and the throw to first in time. Diamondbacks just demolish the Rangers here this afternoon. They take the second of the two-game series. They win it by a final score of 14-4.
Tied a franchise record for extra base hits. They had 13 in the game today. I believe it. Yes, here's Alex Weiner with the rundown. 7 doubles, 1 triple, 5 home runs, and a partridge in a pear tree. It was just one after another.
The great Steve Berthiaume, who is just so good at what he does and so prepared, and I appreciate that. And after the Marte home run, he said that they put up a graph. 67 home runs for the Arizona Diamondbacks since August 1st. The Braves are second with 53. Now, I don't know if there were any more home runs hit. I guess there was. There was the...
After the Cattell one?
The ADC,
oh,
yeah.
There were
so then they've got
2 or 3 after that,
or
right?
69. I had to leave to come into the office after the Del Castillo home run made it 11-4. But at one point in a game, they brought up a graphic that the most home runs since August 1st have been the Diamondbacks. There was a time when we talked about the Diamondbacks outfield not having any home runs. Like, how bad is it that the Diamondbacks have an outfield that can't hit home runs? There's no power. 67 home runs since August 1st. The Braves have 53. The Dodgers have 52. The Yankees have 51. They're crushing the ball. They're just crushing it. Randall Grichuk, congratulations. Home run number 200 in your career. He got that in that first inning when the Diamondbacks went up 3-0. His 200th home run.
Something else that Steve Zinsmeister mentioned during his postgame show while we were waiting to get on the air, I'm looking at Major League Baseball teams ranked by runs scored right now, okay? Now, the Diamondbacks have led this category for a while, but with today's 14-run outburst, the Arizona Diamondbacks have become the first team to cross the 800 runs scored threshold so far in Major League Baseball. Your New York Yankees are the next highest scoring total runs, 730.
That's a big difference.
72 runs more scored for the season than the second best team in baseball. And while all of this is going on, all I can think to myself is one, hopefully the Diamondbacks are fortunate enough to get in the postseason. We're down to, I think, 16 games left.
2.5 game lead.
2.5 game lead. It's looking good, but obviously it's still tighter than a lot of us would have wanted. But for just a second, let's project them in the postseason. This is a vastly different Diamondback team than any of us were expecting to see this season. And they've kept it going all year long with their ability to be a prolific home run hitting team, run scoring team. Can they win in October doing this, or do they have to count on this getting siphoned off a little bit because it's October baseball?
I mean, this Bradford kid came in, last 7 starts, a total of 13 earned runs, and they wrecked him.
They wrecked him.
Last 7 starts, 13 earned runs allowed in 7 starts, and they wrecked him. Ketel Marte now has more home runs against the left-handed pitcher than I think anybody in baseball.
Correct, yes.
He's got 17 home runs, 31 overall, 17 against left-handed pitching. Now, good news is that Gallen pitched very well yesterday, but he ran the pitch count up very high. The bad news is, from what I'm hearing, because I just asked about this with Merrill Kelly, is this the same situation as last September or different? It's the same.
Okay.
It is the same.
Is that bad news or is that good news?
How long was he out?
Well, last year it was his calf that kept him out. The cramping, he was still able to start through the cramping, right? It was the blood clot. If I remember right, it was the blood clots in the calf
that forced
Merrill Kelly to miss games. If this is just cramping in his hamstring, I don't think that actually cost him any starts.
Same cramping as last September. I
interpret that as good news.
Okay.
Because it didn't limit his ability in October to pitch at all. Once it cooled off, it was fine. It's just every year you can just assume this is going to be an issue for not only Merrill, but other guys on the team as well. And if you missed it, Merrill had to leave the game today after 4 innings because he was cramping in his right hamstring. And he said he's not worried about making his next start. He's like, I'm not even thinking about it. It's going to be fine.
Next summer, we only have him pitch on the road. No pitching in Arizona. There was a baseball player once named Ed Whitten, and the Yankees signed him, I believe, from the Padres. And they would not pitch him at Yankee Stadium because the Yankee fans hated him, and they booed him he was just mental. They couldn't pitch him at home. He would only pitch on the road. Couldn't pitch him at home.
Yeah.
Because the crowds would just
devour him.
They paid him a lot of money and he sucked.
Yeah.
So he would only pitch on the road.
Eugenio Suarez, after the game, what you talked about how happy he was with 2 wins against Texas.
It's feel great. It's every time it's good to win at home. We came here to try to win the most game that we can, and we did the series against Texas. It's nice to us to start the home turns.
He was a triple shy of hitting for the cycle and hit a home run instead, his second home run of the game. He was asked about that from Jody Jackson and Brandon Webb after the game as well.
You're going for the cycle here. Did you think about maybe
To be honest,
holding up there for third?
yes. I'm
Okay.
looking for one pitch to hit to the middle of the field. I think that's the only chance that I have to get at third. So he missed that slider right there. I'll be able to swing, put in play, and thanks God I got a homer.
I love it, being honest.
Like
Yes.
you can't not hit a homer even if you tried, apparently, there, right?
I never try. to hit a homer. It just happened.
To go from the first 2 months of the season, couldn't hit a lick, and they were considering dropping you, to being a guy that's having, what has he got, 27 home runs?
He's going to be a 3,100 guy.
He's going to be a 3,100, what, a 250-plus batting average.
Which I think would be his highest batting average in years.
Like he turned an awful 2 months into a really good season. He's batting 500 in September.
Yeah.
I think it was 18 for 37. That's just about 500 in the month of September.
He's at 28 home runs right now. He's at 92 RBI. There's 16 games to go.
Plays great defense.
Plays great defense. He's going to be a 3,100 guy. And yeah, we had a conversation yesterday about picking up the team option on him. I agree with you. It's a no-brainer. You got to do it. I don't know what it says about Jordan Lawler. Maybe it doesn't say anything about Jordan Lawler, but it is interesting that it would basically, in essence, put him on ice for another year for their top prospect in the
He's
system.
very young.
Which is, it's not the end of the world, but it's at some point you're kind of hoping he'll come up and be a force at the big league level. And if he's not, you might want to start thinking about other options for him. But it's a no-brainer. You absolutely bring him back. Everybody loves him. He's a leader. Defensively, he's great. He's having an unbelievable season. But I'll go back to how we started this conversation. Can we count on this? Because this is what was missing from the team last year during their postseason run. All right, the starting pitching was also missing because they had to have these bullpen games. But we would see their lineup stacked next to Philly. We would see their lineup stacked next to Texas, and we'd go, ooh, kind of like bringing a knife to a gunfight. They just don't have the maulers in their lineup the way those other teams do. You go into October, this is one thing you can unequivocally feel better about with the Diamondbacks in October baseball. They have a lineup that's built to compete better in October on a night-in, night-out basis than they did a year ago, and it ain't even close, man. Ain't even close.
Pitching's usually going to be better. Bullpens, go to your best bullpen guys, not your middle guys. But can you count on this offense? Right now, I'd have to say yes. The offense is carrying this team, one of the best in baseball. I would think that this offense has a chance to carry the team, yes.
Fourth most home runs in Major League Baseball right now. Only the Dodgers, Orioles, and Yankees have hit more than the Arizona Diamondbacks.
And the most since August 1st by a lot.
And that's what they were missing last year during the postseason. They just didn't have enough of that slug threat in there, right? They just didn't have nearly enough of it.
Thanks for watching Burns and Gambo. Click to see more from the guys and hit the button in the middle to subscribe so you never miss a video from Arizona sports.